business. Pompano Beach Special City Commission EMS Taxing District, City of Pompano Beach, meeting to order. Here we are on September 15, 2025 at 6 p.m. If we could please, everyone, please silence their cell phones or put them on vibrate during the meeting, that'd be great. That way we don't get disrupted. So please put your cell phones on vibrate or just turn them off. That's refreshing. Let's go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik.
Here.
Commissioner Perkins.
Here.
Commissioner Sigerson Eaton.
Here.
Commissioner Smith.
Here.
Vice Mayor Fournier.
Here.
Mayor Harden.
Here. If we can all please rise for the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Father, grant us wisdom as we consider this evening's budget for the City of Pompano Beach. Allow us to do the best we can for our residents and visitors. In your name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Harrison, any changes to our agenda this evening?
No, sir.
Very good. Can I get a motion approving the agenda as printed?
Point of order, Mayor. I just request recognition for a privileged statement.
I'm sorry, what?
Recognition for a privileged statement and related motions affecting tonight's agenda.
Mr. Berman, it's...
Yes, it's a point of order.
A point of order can be made at any time, but certainly would question making point of order at this point in the meeting when we're here for a budget, but.
Okay, well, this needs to be said, I believe.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. First, I want to make sure, Mr. Harrison, there have been some issues, and in case you seem to have forgotten, I was elected by District 1 to serve as their representative and city commissioner. The certified canvass shows that I received 5,532 votes, a clear majority. And District 1 expects,
It's not related to.
is not entitled to, I am not done, and this is important, and it does affect the budget, is entitled to basic respect and coordination from your office. For nearly 11 months before the day I was sworn in, I have made repeated, explicit requests that you respect the commissioners, the voters elected. Communicate effectively and directly with our offices, and stop directing staff or consultants to produce propaganda that favors some elected officials while undermining others. You are not getting the message. Only a couple of months ago, we sat here for your annual review, and you did not receive high marks.
Commissioner, with all due respect, what does this have to do with the budget?
Well, let me get there, and it will
Okay,
get
well
there.
then please get there expeditiously. We have an agenda in front of us.
We do. And so what happened in the past to spawn this is related to the meeting that we are having tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
What does that have to do with tonight's budget meeting, Commissioner?
Because I have a motion to put on the agenda, Mayor.
A motion to put on the agenda? Mm-hmm. Add something to the agenda?
Would you like to let me finish, or would you like to continue to interrupt me?
Sure, if you can.
Thank you.
Keep it having to
I
do
will.
with the budget.
Everybody has their time, Commissioner. On September 9th, we discussed a meeting related to the Air Park Workshop. September 9th, I had communications with the executive assistant. September 11th, there was a meeting proposed and scheduled. After I had said specifically to your executive assistant that that date would not work for myself and I needed more time to speak with the residents. I gave a proposed date that next day, and instead, there was communication with a resident rather than me. I have emailed on September 11th several times, and to date, I just checked my email again, no response from you. So on Friday, though, when city offices were closed, the same resident publicly said the meeting was set for Tuesday at 9 a.m. and she had asked the city for Zoom access. This is all happening while other people are communicating, and I've received zero response from Mr. Harrison's office.
Commissioner, I'm going to ask you once again.
I'm making a motion.
Commissioner, I'm going to ask you once again to get back to the budget if this has anything to do with the budget. That is what the meeting tonight is about the budget. It's not about a speech about something else. So if it has to do with the budget, I'll let you continue. Otherwise, I'm going to cut you off and say it's out of order.
Well, I can let you know that it's definitely about the budget and how we can save $400,000. So I'm making a motion to amend the agenda for good cause that I could state, and I add under new business consideration, to make a motion to consideration of the termination of our city manager. Good cause is repeated disregard of commission direction, bypassing District 1 office on District 1 matter, proceeding to post and recirculate meeting after written objections and rescheduling requests,
Okay, you've got a motion to add termination of the city manager to our agenda?
I do.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to add an agenda item to this agenda. I'm not sure where we should add it. I guess somewhere. We'll figure that out.
Thank you.
To terminate the city manager. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Further discussion on the motion? Any discussion on the motion?
I have lots of discussions on the moment, but we're not about to have it, so.
Let's go ahead and call the roll on the motion.
Commissioner Fezzik,
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Segerson Eaton,
No.
Commissioner Smith,
No.
Vice Mayor Fournier,
Yes.
Mayor Harden.
No. Motion fails. Okay. Can I get a motion approving the agenda as printed?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. That takes us up to our public hearing. Josh, Mr. Waters?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the Commission. I'm Joshua Waters, the city's budget director. We're here this evening to hold the first of two hearings required under the state's Truth in Millage Act, the TRIM Act. Before I begin, I do want to thank the department directors and their staff for their assistance in putting together the budget before you this evening. I'd also like to thank the city manager and the management team for leadership throughout the process. And I would be remiss if I did not specifically thank my team in the budget office, Corone, Liliana, and the former budget director, Arietta. So we'll go ahead and start this presentation this evening. So I'll have a presentation, and then there are 6 items before the commission for action this evening. Budget development really is a year-round process. We begin over the winter with the budget office working with departments on preparing their submissions, the process ramping up over the spring and summer and concluding in the fall. This slide details all the steps in the budget decision process this year. This year we started in April with the initial budget workshop with the commission, followed by 2 additional workshops in June and July and individual meetings with members of the City Commission. On July 22nd, the commission adopted the preliminary fire assessment fee resolution. As I stated earlier, this is the first of 2 budget hearings, and the commission is scheduled to act on the final fire assessment resolution this evening, as well as the millage rate and budgets for the city and the EMS district. Tentative budgets and millage rates for the city and EMS district. At the second budget hearing scheduled for next Monday, the City Commission is scheduled to act on the final millage rate and the budget resolutions for the city, the EMS district, and adopt the fiscal 26 to 30 capital improvement plan. The new fiscal year begins in 2 weeks, on October 1st, and the city's required by law to have an adopted budget prior to the start of the fiscal year. In order to accomplish this, there are 6 items on this evening's agenda. The first 2 items are the tentative millage rate resolution and the tentative budget resolution. We'll get into discussion later on these resolutions. The information presented in these resolutions represent the information that was included in the July recommended budget and do not reflect additional reductions that the commission requested be examined later on. Those options will be presented at the end of the presentation for action. The third item is the final fire assessment fee resolution. On July 22nd, the commission passed the preliminary fire rate assessment resolution. Nothing has changed information-wise with regard to this resolution since then. The fourth item is the position classification plan ordinance. I will be joined at the podium by my colleagues in the Office of Human Resources to discuss that, and these items reflect actions that are in the budget. The final 2 items relate to the tentative EMS rate resolution, a millage rate resolution, and the tentative EMS budget resolution. This slide walks through some of the highlights from the FY 2026 recommended budget. There were significant non-discretionary budget pressures this year, including pension contribution increases, funds needed to meet city employee contract obligations, and funding to implement the first phase of the BSO compensation study. The operating millage rate proposed by the city manager remained unchanged from fiscal 25. Again, at the July 22nd commission meeting, staff was directed to come back with options that would allow the commission to decrease the operating millage rate by 0.5%. A memo went out to the commission on August 26th detailing those options. I'll go over those in detail at the end of this presentation. The recommended budget's aggregate millage rate decreases by 0.7% year over year due to decreases in the millage rates associated with the 2018 and 2021 bond issuances. Budget recommends an increase in the fire assessment fees to cover the rising costs for providing fire services, and there's also an increase in the budget for police services. We'll start by going over the all funds budget. Fiscal 2026 revenues for all funds are estimated to total $463.5 million. The largest source of revenue for the city is ad valorem or property taxes, totaling $136.3 million, or about 29% of the city's budget. This is the dark blue slice, and I'll go over each of these in clockwise from the dark blue slice. Non-ad valorem taxes generate approximately $23.2 million, or 5% of the city's revenue. These include sales and use taxes, utility service taxes, and the communication services tax. Revenues from licenses, permits, and assessments total $57.9 million, or 13% of the city's revenue. The largest single source of revenue in this category comes from the city's fire assessment fee. Intergovernmental revenue, state and local shared revenue, as well as state and federal grants totals $30.1 million, or 7%. Charges for services is the second largest source of revenue for the city. This is the light orange slice at $107.8 million, or a little less than a quarter of the city's revenue. These revenue sources include a variety of charges, including water and wastewater charges, solid waste fees, parking, recreation, golf fees, planning, and zoning fees. Revenues from fines and forfeitures totals almost $1.2 million, or less than 1% of the city's budget. Miscellaneous sources and transfers, including interest earnings, rents, and concessions, totals $43.1 million, and other sources of revenue, including administrative service charges and internal service charges, total $63.9 million, or 14% of the budget. This slide shows how expenditures, the city's expenditures by each fund. The general fund, as you can see in the dark blue slice, comprises a little over half the city's total budget at 53%, or $244.1 million. Enterprise funds comprise a little less than 1/4 of the budget at $105.7 million. Special revenue funds are about 12% of our budget, and the remaining funds, internal service funds, debt service operating funds, and the general capital fund combined total about 12% of our budget. Next, I'll go over the general fund budget for the city. As we were putting together the FY 2026 budget, we were faced with a number of budget pressures, many of which are non-discretionary, meaning that we have no choice but to fund them. These budget pressures total almost $20 million. These include increases in the BSO contract, largely to fund implementation of the first phase of their compensation study. The required pension contribution increases for fire, police, and general employees as determined by our actuaries. There's negotiated employee compensation increases, tax increment allocation to the CRAs, increased costs associated with electricity and water for city facilities, debt service for lease financing of vehicles and equipment, and increased funds transfer from the general fund to the EMS fund. This slide shows the sources of revenue for the general fund, totaling $244.1 million. Ad valorem or property tax revenues comprise the largest revenue source at $115.6 million, or a little less than half of the budget. Non-ad valorem taxes comprise a little less than $20 million, or approximately 8%. Licenses, permits, and assessments total $43.8 million, or 18%, and this does include revenue from the fire assessment fee. Intergovernmental revenues totals 10%, or $24 million. Charges for services, $13.2 million. Fines and forfeitures, a little less than $650,000. Miscellaneous revenues and transfers is almost $6 million, or around 2% of our budget. And other revenue sources total $20.9 million, or 9%. This slide shows how the general fund budget is allocated to the various city services. As you can see with the blue, orange, and yellow slices, over half of our general fund budget goes toward funding public safety services. Funding for police services totals $72.9 million, or 30% of our general fund. This includes the BSO contract, as well as the city's pension costs for former City of Pompano Beach police officers. Fire and EMS services, the orange slice, are a little less than a quarter of the budget at $58 million. Other public safety services, the yellow slice, include crossing guards, park rangers, code compliance, and homelessness services, total $6.5 million, or around 3% of our budget. The light green slice, parks, recreation, cultural affairs, tourism, and marketing, a little less than $30 million, or 12% of our budget. Public works facilities, engineering expenditures total $27.5 million, or around 11% of our budget. That's the dark green slice. All other services in the light blue slice, funded in the budget, total $49.7 million, or 20%. This next slide shows the breakdown of growth in our general fund budget this year. As you can see with the blue slice, almost 80% of our budget growth goes toward public safety. Now we'll talk about non-ad valorem revenues. Non-ad valorem revenues in fiscal 26 total around $128.6 million. I'll just go through these slices of the pie. The light blue slice, non-ad valorem taxes, are a little less than $20 million, or 16% of our budget. Licenses, permits, and assessments, $43.8 million. Intergovernmental revenues, $24.2 million, or 19%. Charges for services, $13.2 million, or 10%. Fines and forfeitures, $649,000, or a little less than 1%. Miscellaneous and transfers, almost $6 million at 6%, and other sources, $20.9 million at 16%. The fire assessment program is what I'll discuss next. Many of these slides are going to be very similar to what you saw at the July 22nd commission meeting, where you approved the preliminary fire assessment fee for 2026. This slide shows fire expenditures and revenues from fiscal 29 through 2026. The blue bar shows total expenditures for that year. The yellow bar shows net revenues for that year. And the black line at the top shows the coverage ratio of revenues to expenditures. Historically, the city has tried to maintain a ratio where approximately 90% of fire-related expenditures are covered by fire assessment fee revenues. There have been annual fluctuations in the coverage ratio, but you can see where this ratio starts to decline after 2023. This is largely due to increases in fire expenditures beginning in fiscal year 2024. The FY25 budget estimated that the coverage ratio would be approximately 77%. To ensure our fire services remain fully supported, this budget includes an increase in the residential fire assessment fee. As a result of this increase, we estimate that the net revenues from fire assessment fee would cover approximately 81% of expenditures in 26. This table details the adopted fire assessment fees for 2025 and the proposed assessment fees for 2026. We're recommending that the fire assessment fee for residential properties increase by $30 per unit. For non-residential properties, the rate increases at the same percentage rate increase for residential properties. However, these revenues are collected on a per square foot basis. In total, net revenue from the fire assessment fee are projected to grow from approximately $29 million to $32.3 million, or $3.3 million. Of this growth, approximately $2.7 million is related to the fee increase. This chart has been updated since our last meeting. It compares FY 2026 recommended fire assessment fees for single-family homes in Broward County. The yellow bar represents Pompano Beach, and the blue bar represents where all the other municipalities are in the county. We are right in the middle. We are the median jurisdiction with this rate increase. We are number 13, so there are 12 below us and 12 above us. Of the 25 municipalities that imposed this fee in the county this year, 16 recommended a fee increase. Of those recommending the fee increase, the average increase was a little more than $41. We'll talk about the millage rates. This slide shows the millage rates contained in the recommended budget and reflect what was on the property owner's trim notices that went out in August. The general operating millage rate remained the same, as did the EMS millage rate. The decreases to the GO bond millage rates are related to the increased property valuation. Overall, the FY26 recommended aggregate rate represents a decrease of 0.7% over last year. I'll discuss additional options for reducing the millage rate in a moment. This slide shows the general operating millage rate as the blue bar and the aggregate millage rate as the yellow bar since FY20. The operating millage rate remained constant between 2020 and 2022. Fiscal 23, it increased slightly to where it remained until FY25 when the rate was decreased to its current level. For 2026, the proposed operating millage rate shown here is unchanged, while the total aggregate millage rate is estimated to decrease by that 0.7%. This slide shows how Pompano Beach's recommended operating millage rate compares to other municipalities in Broward County. This includes both for Pompano Beach, the operating millage rate, as well as the EMS millage rate. Pompano Beach is the 11th lowest compared to the 31 municipalities in Broward County. Out of the 31 municipalities in the county, 5 decreased their operating millage rate this year and 1 increased it. 25 municipalities did not change their operating millage rate. At the July 22nd Commission meeting, staff was directed to provide options to the Commission to reduce the general operating millage rate by 0.5 percentage point, which translates to $575,087 in general fund budget reductions. Staff looked at ways to reduce the millage rate with the least impact on public services. August 26th, a memo was sent to the Commission outlining those options, and I'll walk through those here. Both the Northwest CRA and East CRA tax increment financing allocation would be recalculated because of the lower millage rate, resulting in an automatic reduction of $47,209 and $16,830 respectively, as shown here. The next item would shift $150,000 in costs for the Habitat for Humanity reimbursement project from the General Capital Fund to the Northwest CRA. This capital project reimburses Habitat for Humanity for up to $300,000 for design, permitting, and construction of utilities and roadway along Northwest 1st Street. Funding for this project was to be split 50-50 between the General Capital Fund and utilities. After discussions with the CRA, it was determined that the general fund portion of the expenditure, or $150,000, is an eligible CRA expense and does not require modifying the Northwest CRA plan. Funding is currently budgeted in the CRA's budget for renovations of the former Laundromax facility, also known as the Wash House, and some of those funds will be reallocated to cover this expenditure. The final reduction item relates to the contingency account, $361,048. Funds for this account were budgeted in the non-departmental account because the July valuation received from the Broward County property appraiser was higher than the preliminary valuation we received in June. This slide shows what the new millage rates would be if adopted by the City Commission. As you can see, the millage rate, the general operating millage rate for the city would go down by 0.5 percentage point. And when combined with the reductions to the GO bond millage rates, the overall aggregate millage rate for the city would decrease by 1.1%. The EMS millage rate would remain the same. So the city millage rate and the budget resolutions that you have before you tonight reflect rates contained in the July recommended budget and were included in the trim notices. This slide summarizes the modifications that would need to take place to implement the reductions just shown. If the Commission's okay with reduction options presented, then staff would recommend that the Commission adopt the city's millage rate resolution and the city's budget resolution with the modifications shown on this slide. And with that, I'll conclude my remarks and accept any questions the Commission may have.
Very good, thank you for that. Are there any questions of Mr. Waters on the presentation before we start things? Nope, okay. That takes us up to our regular agenda. Item B is, B is consideration. Item 1 is a resolution.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Broward County, Florida, adopting the tentative millages for the 2025 tax roll, levying a tax on all properties real and personal within the corporate limits of the City of Pompano Beach, Broward County, Florida, for operation and/or maintenance expenses of the City of Pompano Beach, using a tentative general operating millage of 5.2443, levying a tax for the payment of principal and interest for 2018 general obligation bonded indebtedness, using a tentative millage rate of 0.2632, levying a tax for the payment of principal and interest for 2021 general obligation bonded indebtedness, using a tentative millage rate of 0.1795, providing that the tentative millage rate, general operating millage 5.2443, and emergency medical services district millage of 0.5000 of 5.7443 represents a 5.63% increase in property taxes when compared to the rollback millage rate of 5.4379, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Mr. Waters, you just want to adopt your presentation? Is it
Yes, so you would want to adopt the resolution with the modifications. You would want to amend this from the dais to adopt the modifications shown in the slide here,
Very good. Thank you for that.
if that's the commission's will.
Very, very good. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Please come forward. Just name and address for the record.
Vicente Thrower, Pompano Beach. Mayor, is this the item where I can talk about BSO right now too at the same time? You're talking about the budget, right? So I can talk about that right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mayor, I want to make sure I get some clarity, because there's a lot of little rumors on social media and so forth. Mayor, the actions that you all took last week, moving forward and giving staff the authorization to do all the other stuff, did you at any point identify that that is the wishes, or to say that we are going along with all the rhetoric that the sheriff is saying online about us going along with his budget and all the other stuff? Is that what we're saying? I just want to make sure I'm understanding. Are we saying that we're staying with BSO, or, I mean, the people are confused. So this is a large part of our budget is this BSO contract. Are you all saying what he's saying online, that we are sticking with him and giving him a vote of confidence?
We renewed our contract for another year.
And that's all, just for another year?
That's all.
That's for the record, right? This is only a renewal for another year.
Correct.
While we continue down the path to look at what's best for Pompano Beach, correct?
Well, we've got some studies that are being done out there right now to examine our police services.
Well, Mayor, we need to make sure we understand that, because, see, false information and people putting out rhetoric could cause a misunderstanding. You understand?
I hear you.
And that's a lot of money that we just increased and gave BSO also. And for the elderly people, like my grandmother, it's a lot of money. So I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Thank you, man.
Very good. Further input from the public? Please come forward. Just name and address for the record.
Jocelyn Jackson. Let me see. I like the other screen better, like the breakdown, where you see the East CRA and the West CRA. I think it's, yeah, that's it right there. Okay. I said Jocelyn Jackson. All right, right there with the East CRA is $16,830, and it looks like the Northwest is $150,000. All right, let me be crystal clear. Right here, it says 150,000, right, on Northwest?
That's actually for a that's a project, a Habitat for Humanity project.
Okay, I heard something with TIF funding. Which slide that was?
Well, no, this slide has TIF funding.
Okay, so this is what I want to say about the Northwest section. We have our CRA money, Northwest CRA money. We want our money to stay in the Northwest section. We don't want to contribute to any extra pockets, extra areas for the city or the ECRA. ECRA, they had the privilege to do what they need to do with their funding. No, we need all our coins. Northwest area, we need all our coins. So I don't know who thought or who idea or who can imagine that we don't need our money. But I hear a lot, saying, oh, the roads, oh, our roads need fixed. Take roads. We need to get rid of the slum and black in our area. We have no money for District 1, District 3, District 5. Our money need to stay in our district. We need all our coins to build up our district. We need all of them. Now, our meeting, I thought we were supposed to, the CRA meeting was tomorrow, but I see that you guys have this here, a part of the budget. This is the city budget, correct?
Correct.
Okay, but yeah, no, Northwest CRA, we need all our fundings. We do not want to share. The Northeast done been built up. Their money is gone. I'm looking at that. We need all our coins. That's what I would like to say. All of our coins, Mayor. all of them.
Very good. Just for the record, we are not spending any Northwest CRA funds outside of the Northwest CRA, nor are we spending any East CRA funds outside of the East CRA. Thank you very much.
Mayor.
Vice Mayor?
And the Northwest CRA does include a big part of District 5. So just to
It also,
Clarify the record.
District 3 is in there,
District 3.
District 2 is in there.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, so Northwest CRA encompasses a large area.
Almost all.
Very good
one.
point. No District 1.
No District 1. But other than that, we all have parts of our districts in
Yep.
the Northwest CRA.
Absolutely. Further input from the public? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion.
Mayor, here.
That's Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton.
Yeah, we need to amend the motion in order to do the 0.5% reduction, correct? As laid out with the suggestions from Mr. Waters. All right, so I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Very good. It's been moved and seconded to approve the budget with the recommendations of Mr. Waters as outlined on the current slide. Is that your motion?
Yes.
Very good. Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Let's call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik,
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fournier,
Yes.
Mayor Harden.
Yes. Item 2 is a resolution.
A resolution adopting the tentative annual budget of estimated expenditures, expenses, and receipts revenues for the city of Pompano Beach, Broward County, Florida, for fiscal year 2025 through 2026, totaling $431,373,685, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded for discussion. Once again, Mr. Waters.
Again, Mr. Mayor, you'd want to amend this resolution from the dais to reflect the items shown on the screen here, starting with the bullet that says general fund budget. Those would need to be adopted as amendments from the dais to this resolution to enact what the commission just did.
Very good. All right.
Mayor, can I ask a quick question?
Sure. Go ahead.
When we just voted on the motion to modify it to these, did we actually vote on the item, or
Yeah.
Mr. Berman?
No, that's what I'm arguing with the clerk right now.
Right.
There was a motion to amend. The motion to amend was granted. You need to vote now to
On the item? Yeah,
approve the budget item as amended.
that's what I thought.
That's what I'm arguing about with, I'm not arguing, but discussing.
We're going back and, yeah, we're same disagreement here.
I'm sorry. I thought the motion was to approve the budget, the item,
Modify it.
with the amendments.
With the amendments?
Yes.
All right, if that was the motion, then we're fine. That's what I was trying to find out.
Okay,
That's
so
what I thought it was.
I'd like to make the motion to amend item 2 to adopt the changes on Mr. Waters'
just-
slides for consistency.
Just to amend it?
Or to adopt it
To
with the
adopt it,
amendment.
to adopt it with the amendments.
Can we wait on that? Let's get the public input.
That's fine.
Yes, then, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Waters. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to adopt to adopt the item with the amendments in Mr. Waters' slides.
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded to approve the resolution with the amendments made, recommended by Mr. Waters. Any further commission discussion? Seeing none, let's go ahead. I'm sorry, Commissioner Perkins.
On this item, trying to understand the expenditures and the receipts of the revenue, do you have available the breakdown of how the revenues and expenditures play into the new downtown?
The new downtown development is part of the CRA's budget. Yes, the CRA's budget, and that'll be discussed at the CRA budget meeting tomorrow. The budget for the city's budget includes the transfer of funds, the TIF funds, from the city to the CRA as a result of the function of law that we have to pay the CRA the TIF funds. But the details regarding the CRA's budget are considered separately at the CRA budget discussion tomorrow.
Okay, so just to make sure I understand, So this resolution, of course, has nothing to do with the new downtown whatsoever.
No,
So
ma'am.
that will come up with the CRA, in the CRA's budget, as you just stated.
Right, that'll come up with the CRA's budget. Attachment A at the end of the resolution just lists all the expenditures that are associated with this resolution.
Okay, great.
CRA
Thank you.
is in tomorrow.
Thank you.
Very good. Further commission discussion? Seeing none, let's go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik,
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins, Commissioner Seegerson Eaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fournier,
Yes.
Mayor Harden.
Yes, item 3 is a resolution.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, relating to the provision of fire rescue services, facilities, and programs in the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, providing authority, definitions, and interpretation, confirming the preliminary rate resolution imposing fire rescue assessments against assessed property located within the City of Pompano Beach for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025, approving the assessment roll and providing for collection, providing for the application of assessment proceeds, providing for effect, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second?
Moved and second for discussion. Once again, Mr. Waters.
Mr. Mayor and Commission, the rates reflected in this resolution are the final fire assessment rates for fiscal '26. They reflect the actions that were taken by the Commission in July. And just for summary, I've put the rates on the screen here so you can see.
Very good, thank you for that. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion.
Yes, Mayor.
Commissioner Perkins.
Just want to clarify, because I received several calls today regarding this. This is only approving the fire rescue services and programs only for this particular item.
Fire assessment fee can only go to serve the fire programs. EMS is supported separately through the EMS millage rate as well as a general fund transfer. But what you are approving now is just the fire assessment rates that go to fund fire services in the city.
Great, thank you.
Very good. Further commission discussion? Seeing none, let's go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik,
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Seegerson Eaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fournier,
Yes.
Mayor Harden.
Yes, item 4 is the first reading of an ordinance.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 34, City Policy of the City of Pompano Beach Code of Ordinances by amending Section 34.107 Position Classification Plan by reclassifying certain positions, by creating new positions, by retitling certain positions, and by retitling and reclassifying certain positions, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second?
Moved and second for discussion. Sinico.
Lisa Sinego, Human Resources Director. This is a housekeeping item that relates to item 2 here, which is the tentative annual budget. And the position changes that the city attorney just read off, this just codifies those separately. So they are all included in the budget. This just codifies those separately and lists them out.
Very good. Thank you for that. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion, questions, concerns. Commissioner Perkins?
Yes, Mayor. So just to confirm, we are considering new titles, but no new positions.
No new people.
No new people.
No people.
But new titles.
Titles, yes.
Okay,
yes.
thank you. That's all I needed.
Very good. Further commission discussion? Seeing none, let's go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik,
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Seegerson Eaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fournier,
Yes.
Mayor Harden.
Yes, let's adjourn this meeting, and we'll now commence the meeting as the EMS Taxing District, Monday, September 15th, 2025. All right, takes us up to item 1 is a consideration, or consideration, item 1 is a resolution.
Resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Pompano Beach Emergency Medical Services District, Broward County, Florida, adopting the tentative millage rate for the 2025 tax roll, levying a tax on all properties, real and personal, within the corporate limits of the Pompano Beach Emergency Medical Services District for operation and/or maintenance expenses of the Pompano Beach Emergency Medical Services District, using a tentative millage of 0.5000, providing that the tentative millage rate represents a 7.99% increase in property taxes when compared to the rollback rate of 0.4630, providing an effective
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Once again, Mr. Waters.
Mr. Mayor, this reflects the budget as proposed by the city manager. The millage rate for EMS is 0.500 mils, and this is what was discussed by the commission at its workshops earlier this year.
Very good, thank you for that. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion, questions, concerns. Seeing none, let's go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fournier?
Yes.
Mayor Harton?
Yes. Item 2 is a resolution.
A resolution adopting the tentative annual budget of estimated expenditures and receipts of the Pompano Beach Emergency Medical Services District, Broward County, Florida, for the fiscal year 2025 through 2026, totaling $32,164,940, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Once again, Mr. Waters.
Mr. Mayor, the commission would want to adopt this resolution as before you, since it reflects the millage rate that was just adopted by the commission, the tentative millage rate was adopted.
Very good, thank you for that. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion. Seeing none, let's go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fournier?
Yes.
Mayor Harton?
Yes, and now before I adjourn, Mr. Berman, do you have something you'd like to add?
I do. Thank you for recognizing me, Mayor. Very briefly, at a prior public hearing, I announced that pursuant to 447-605 Florida statutes governing public meetings, that we'd be having that I desired to invite concerning Pompano Beach professional firefighters Local 1549 union contract. That meeting will be on September 30th, 2025, on that Tuesday in Commission Chambers. I had announced myself, Greg Harrison, Brian Donovan, Tracy Lyons, Assistant Deputy City Manager, Lisa Sonego will also be there. Pete McGinnis, Fire Chief, will be there. Lisa Sonego, Human Resources Director, Fire Chief, and Joshua Waters, Budget Director, as well as Lindsay Ryder, the city's Labor Council. I wanted to add those names. They need to be announced at a public meeting. We're at a public meeting, so here we go. Those names were added. I did not have those initially. They have been an active part of the city's negotiating team and therefore need to be present. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Very good. This meeting is adjourned.